Hey guys, it's me, Paul again. Now in the earlier video, we talked about how to navigate through the 3D view in Blender. Once you learn how to navigate, you can learn how to zoom in, zoom out, move up, down, and left and right, and rotate the 3D plane. If you haven't seen that tutorial yet, I really urge you to go to that one first. It's lesson 1. It's called Navigation and Objects, and you can check it out at my channel. Alright, so in this lesson, we're going to be discussing how we can maybe move objects around. Now, you know that you can select objects by right-clicking on them from the previous lesson. So, I set up a scenario here where we're supposed to move all the cubes into this one corner over here. So how do we do this? Well, you should notice that when you select an object, there's a little widget that appears. There's like a blue, green, red arrows popping up, and they basically represent the different axes in which you can move the object. Over here is the z-axis, over here is the y-axis, and over here is the x-axis. The different colors pretty much correspond to the different axes that you're trying to move the object in. So, if we want all the objects to move to this one corner, what we could do, we could select each one, could move them over here, and using just the arrows, we can move them virtually anywhere we want. Yep, just like that. Now, what if we want to stack them on top of each other? If we zoom in, we can do that as well. Use a blue arrow to make it increase in altitude. You can use this arrow to move it to that direction. And you can do the same thing with other boxes. If you practice enough at this, you'll eventually get better and really good with moving objects around. There you go. Yeah, more or less. They're stacked up now. See? And that's the move tool. Okay, the next tool is the rotate tool. You can find it over here. Rotate tool. And you can even see an axis here. You can use this tool to move it along the different axes. And you can pretty much rotate the object. Now, the problem I have with this widget, with this tool, is that sometimes I click on the line and it doesn't rotate the object. I usually have another way of doing this as well, since it gets pretty annoying sometimes when I can't click on the line and I can't rotate the object the way I want it to. All you have to do is press R, click, press R, and make sure you don't move the mouse at all, because it's going to move it like this, which you don't really want because it's not rotating in the direction you want it to. So if you want to undo, you just right click and it goes back to the original position. R rotates, and then right click goes back to the original position. If you click R and then press the left mouse button, this shows up on the left panel, rotate. What I tend to do, I choose the axis that I want to rotate. For example, I want to rotate it on the x-axis. It's going to do that in a much more precise manner. Okay, let's undo that. Control Z to undo. R, click. Now I want to move it, ideally I want to move it to the Z-axis. And I want to rotate it on the Z-axis. Okay, so there we go. Now we're done with the changes. All you have to do is let go. You can also press R and then left click. It's going to reset the angle. So if you wanted to do that, you're free to do so as well. Now I want to rotate these boxes so that they're not the same. They're completely different for each cube. Rotate. Oops. Press R, click, constrain to Z. There we go. Right click, press R, constrain to Z, and there you go. See, now you can rotate all these blocks so that they look like something from a children's room. And the last tool I want to talk to you about is the scale tool. And this can be done through, you want to make sure you click A, you press the A key, it deselects all the objects. If you press it again, it can select all the objects. So it's kind of like a toggle all objects type of button. If you press S, it also does the same thing. It kind of scales the objects based on where you move your mouse. And you also have the options over here to resize the object however you want it. If you want to do it in a more precise manner, you can try this, which you can scale all these objects based on the Z-axis, the X-axis, the Y-axis. Oh, and something's not right with a widget over here. And the reason that is because when you press the A key, it also selected the lamp. We don't want to select the lamp. So let's just select these one by one. Right click, shift, and it allows you to select multiple objects. And now the origin is back at the right position. So you can scale them, rotate them, move them, and really do whatever you want with all the objects in this 3D plane. Alright guys, I hope you learned something from this video. Now you should know how to move objects around, rotate them, and scale them. And also a little bit on how to select all the objects or deselect all the objects. You want to select multiple objects, but not all the objects. You right click, shift, right click, still holding shift, right click, right click. And there you have it. Now you have better knowledge on how to really move the objects around, rotate them, and scale them. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more tutorials and lessons from Paul Talks Blender. Later, guys.